Watch It with Kat here. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I myself am snowbound. I do not want to touch the outside and get cold, wet paws, not having it. So I'm staying in today, and I am going to therefore treat myself to one of my favorite shows, and therefore you're going to get treated to Plebes, which is a situation comedy, which, is something a little different. And it's like a hidden gem. I never heard of it. Um, Probably most people in the US haven't heard of it. Probably all people in Britain have, but it was referred to my human by one of her human friends in some place called Canada, which doesn't even sound like a real word, can't be a real place. But anyway, she is always a good recommender. So without any knowledge of what was going to be in the show, we just went in open minded and loved it. So, if you like British comedies and you like a little something different, because it would be, a comedy is a situation comedy, and the comedy part is, the typical banter between, guys having their quarter life or tertiary life crisis or whatever, and, struggles with jobs, struggles meeting women, that kind of thing. But the situation is so cool. Between the two of them, it just makes a very unique viewing experience. Because the situation is they take all these modern uh, traumas and things one has to deal with in the modern world and drop it in ancient Rome. So let's take a look together at Plebes. Pull it up, find it, and we'll watch it together. Oh, and a quick note, when you pull it up on whatever stream it's currently on, put on the subtitles if you're not so familiar with different English accents. There's one character, Grumio, who has a very strong something accent, and my ears pick up accents very well, but human ears, might not. So just in case you need a little help on the Grumio accent, yeah, pro tip. All right, so anybody who wants any spoilers, skip to the outro. But for the rest of us, let's get ready to watch the pilot and hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quite a name. The list in itself. Not on the scroll. Rather not. Dead nippy. Who doesn't? Best intro. Oh, I love the mailboxes. The landlord, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, yeah, it is. Still not great. The Hood. I love it that the slaves are the most intransigent people in the entire show. Junk scrolls. Selfish. Three good points. Oh my god, not even print drawings. Great story. Oh. Well, it is a sense. Cold. Damn it. Nice. Oh, I love the workspace. The office in Rome. Running gag coming. Copier and shredder. Who has the easier job there? Well, probably Grumio of all the three, actually. Nice. Hmm. Oh, yeah, and he's trustworthy. Guaranteed. It's an orgy. There you go. And probably wouldn't go anyway. Love him. Just shredding away. Oh, you're in for an evening. like I don't know whether to be happy or scared. General Gray. Food shouldn't be gray. Theme. It's the orgy theme. That's true. Oh, oh no, 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 no. Orgy themed. He has a point. Got your feathers ruffled. Bloody hell's not good. No, you want entry level with that. Charming landlord. Is that his pet? Like the Roman dog? Ew. Running gag. Run, Shredder. Just run. Send out a poll. Aw, you've made him doubt his whole self. You really need to make friends with that woman. She's like gonna cock block you every chance she gets. Goon. Run. Point. Seriously, panic. Don't go in. It's your last chance. Do you want to go to an orgy with him? Oh, that must be that wall. See, how can you not love this? I love it. He's like, wanna? Sure. That's not good. Poor Stylix. Oh my god. And that was Plebes. Now, let's chat about it. All right, so that was the pilot for Plebes. I love this little show. It's a strange combination that shouldn't work, like, when you throw a bunch of stuff on a sandwich or in a taco or in cat food that shouldn't work together, but it does. That's this show. It's got, all the modern concepts and, ways of speaking and slang, and throws it back to ancient Rome, makes it fit, and then throws ska music throughout to keep it light. That basically just say, turn your brain off, enjoy, and yeah, it works. It shouldn't, but it does. I mean, in the opening scene where the boys, Marcus, his best friend Stylax, and Marcus's quote unquote slave Grumio, because he doesn't really, follow anything Marcus has to say in the first place, are trying to get into this club that they can't pay the entry fee for, and they're not on the list, i.e., scroll. And so the guy bouncer is like, "Is this really the club for you?" "I don't think so." And they're like, "Why not?" He's like, "Do I have to spell it out?" And then the title Plebes comes on. And so, these guys are, you know, seen by others as losers, gonna be the underdogs, because plebes is short for plebeians, and it basically means the commoners, of Rome, whereas, the nobles and the wealthy were the patricians. And so they're, at the bottom of the social ladder. They just moved here 6 weeks ago. They live in a slum. The landlord's basically a slumlord. They work at a go nowhere job. They're trying to find women, yada, yada, yada. They get the mail, and it's, mostly junk mail. Meanwhile, Marcus finds new neighbors that are girls that are moving in. He has a crush on one. So he's trying to warm up to her. Stylax gets a thing in the mail, invitation for an orgy by the followers of the flesh. And he so wants to go, and he whines and badgers Marcus into being willing to consider asking this new interest of his, and then he can't quite go through with it, so he invites her to a party, and he's going to try to break it to her that it's quote unquote orgy themed. Meanwhile, Stylax, decides to mind the workplace for a woman, because the men have to bring a woman to the orgy with them, or else the numbers would be totally skewed. But yeah, so he does that through a memo system, which is basically like, it's just office stuff. It's the office in ancient Rome, basically, when they go into work. And the best thing is, they've got this boss, Flavia, who's, just horrible boss, very strict, but also perverse and strange and weird. And their jobs are, one makes copies, one just tears papers. One's a copier, one's a shredder. Marcus has to copy stuff all day. Shredder Stylax just tears paper all day, and she refers to them as copier and shredder by their job names, which is also kind of a cute touch, because both of their jobs have now been replaced by machines in the modern world. So yeah, and then there's a water boy who just stands there and holds water, and for them in case they get thirsty, and possibly has the worst job of all three of them. And so they can make fun of him, because he's actually the only person, I think, in the entire office with a worse job than them, because he's just there holding the jug just in case they get thirsty, and is always called Water Boy where he wants to be called Water Man. But anyway, so yeah, that doesn't go well, because Flavia ends up, the boss ends up telling Stylax that she's taking him. He's both intrigued and horrified at the same time. And the thing of inviting the girl next door doesn't really go well for Marcus. But eventually, they get to the orgy, and, horrible things happen to Stylax. But anyway, so it's a funny pilot for a funny show. The boys have this incredible chemistry. They have, like, their lines just flow. It feels like, they are these characters, that they've known each other, that they've been friends for a while. And I think that comes from the fact that it was kind of shot on location in Bulgaria. So, the cast and crew and everybody had to kind of live together for like every day for like 5 weeks at a time when they were shooting. And that'll bond people if you get to film away from the studios and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're together 24/7. That definitely can create a bond. And people who worked on the set said it was one of the happiest jobs they've ever had, so that definitely worked. And what the other thing that works is that they go out of their way to make the to make the Roman part so realistic. I mean, really out of their way. Like Sam and Ted Leifer, I think, one's a producer and the other's a director writer, and they're both brothers, and they have classics degrees, the both of them. They even have an eminent historian on the board as an advisor. Like, the ancient Rome stuff is like on point, so that when the other stuff is introduced, it's on this layer of realism underneath this layer of complete insanity. So, even the place where they work is a scriptorium, which is a Latin word meaning place for writing, and that's where people really did, copy books by hand. So it's just, you can tell that there's a lot of love in the show and behind the show, It has been running since March 25th, 2013 to present. I only can recommend the first three seasons because those are the only ones my humans saw. Because one of the actors, Joel Fry, who plays Stylax, left the show. You might know him from some other roles, like this one in Game of Thrones, where he played the nasty, icky guy that tried to make Dany marry him. But after one of them leaves, when the chemistry is so good, my human will, bail in a heartbeat if they don't think that, it's going to be as good as it was. And so I can only recommend those first three seasons. But catch it while you can, because, of course, a successful British show that nobody's heard of, an American remake is in the works, which goes without question. I don't have high hopes because American remake, being human, yeah, many others, no. And the fact that it's being helmed by Seth Rogen is, but I will give this. It's like, I don't know if it's going to be a series or a film or what, but the team that Seth Rogen is doing this with was the team that brought AMC's Preacher to fruition, and that's a great show that we'll have to do a pilot for soon. So check it out if you didn't get a chance. Like, subscribe, notify, whatever. If you want to support us through Patreon, whatever. If you enjoy it, help the community grow, share it, all that good stuff. But until later, I want to say it's been enjoyable watching this with you. Good night, sleep well, and always remember Grumio's advice. It's not a good thing to take a nap and an orgy. Meow meow.